Hola paisanos, just Lyle here, and let me tell you why I believe Yona is the most hated character in all of Tears of the Kingdom. So let me run by you a quick list of characters, right? So we got Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Link, the hero. You have Sonia, who is the first queen of Hyrule, and you got Rauru, the first king of Hyrule. Generally speaking, when you look at kings and queens, when you look at the leaders that have formed the kingdom of Hyrule, you're thinking of, two peas in a pod, two colors that complement each other, two instances in which you look at the other and you look at the person next to them and you think they are essentially an equal. They are two halves of a whole. They work well enough by themselves, but if you put them together, you get this magnificence of being a greater piece. You got your peanut butter and jelly, you got your bread on one side, you smush them together, you got a wonderful new ingredient that you will always appreciate. And this is why I believe Yona is the most hated character, because we've had examples of greatness and we've had examples of characters with great characters with significant weaknesses that could put down any character down. So let me explain to you who Yona is. Yona is the fiance to Sidon. Sidon's fiance is this what do you call it? A manta ray, I believe, or stingray. Light green stingray, who is the heir to the throne because Sidon's the prince, so that would make her the princess and soon to be queen of the Zoras. She is a healer for Zora's domain. She is potentially one of the most important Zoras at that time, whose ability would come closest to maybe Mipha's grace, but chances are, because she does not have any royalty blood in her, she is not as strong, but she has a lot of elements that would make her a fantastic queen in the future. Now, Yona sounds fantastic. She's a great Zora on her own right. She is probably maintaining the peace in Zora's domain during the goo sludge epidemic, and it's causing all these Zoras to rely on a healer and a single leader that can lead them to it. And Sidon's busy tackling the sludge, and you need someone at home you can look up to and say, that is the person we want to look up to, and that is Yona. She is the bringer of peace among the Zoras, and she is probably the best example of what you want in a leader. And this is where I come across the biggest issue, because like I said earlier, she is Sidon's fiance, which means Sidon is taken. That's right, everyone in the internet loves Sidon. He is one handsome Zora. He's got scales that will make anyone jealous. Great attitude. Love his optimism. You just wish you were with him at all times. And now you realize that Sidon is taken, which means that he is no longer out. He is literally the fish that, when they say, there's millions of fishes in the sea. Well, that was the fish you always wanted. That's the fish you always saw. And that fish is now taken away from the market, and you realize that this is a Sidon that you can no longer have. I mean, in the internet you can still have him, but in the world of Hyrule, he's taken. He has a fiance, and her name is Yona, and this is why in the internet you do not disclose your relationship. People want you to be single. Whether you are married or in a relationship or it's complicated, Everyone in the internet wants to be with you, whether that's romantically or in other ways that are not very, very intimate ways, maybe. People want to think about you together. You want to be there together with you and your significant other, and that person that you're thinking of will probably be someone who is out of your league, but they'll still be nice enough to be around you with whatever time they have. And Sidon is that character, and Yona took it away from us. Sidon is not single, which means that he is taken, which means that Sidon is the future king of the Zoras alongside his queen Yona, and we are jealous of Yona, and we want her soon to be replaced by any of us. But that's one of the biggest reasons why I believe Yona is the most hated character. I will probably argue against that because I can't think of anyone at the moment that I hate more. But I'm pretty sure there's someone out there, probably not as significant hatred like having to get rid of her, but she is definitely one of those reasons where you kind of go, now why do we like her again? I mean, for the Zoras, she's a significant leader, right? But for us Hylians, we don't. Apparently she's been around for years. She's apparently in Breath of the Wild, or at least living in that world, because apparently there's some sort of time discrepancy here that I'm trying to figure out where they started dating, but I have no idea where she was in the game. She was always hiding, but as far as I'm concerned, I've known of Sidon since Breath of the Wild. Shoot, I played Age of Calamity for Sidon. I went out of my way to buy that game just for Sidon, and I spent some great times and a significant amount of hours being alongside him, only to find out he's taken. I don't know about that. Feels kind of wrong if you kind of ask me. And I mean, I wouldn't say I hate Yona for that, but I don't necessarily love Yona for that either. So let me just say, the internet, when they love and grasp onto something they like, they'll love and grasp onto that like their life depends on it. And Yona, I don't know about you, but the internet sure does love Sidon. And I don't know if you love him as much as the rest of the internet does, but you might have to do some catching up to fill up that love. Now, that's listen, I'm not a marriage counselor, not even remotely close to being anything of a relationship expert. But last time I checked, is if you like something, you can just feel this glow, this field of energy that can you can just sense it. You can just see it. It's one of those things like air. You don't see it, but it's there. Same as love. When you love something, you just know it. And I just recently watched Spirited Away, which I don't know how it's just connecting to this. There's that scene in which Chihiro says, what was it? It was the old man, Oichi. He's just like, oh, you might not be able to see it, but this is love. It's Chihiro and trying to remember the name of the dragon dude. I forgot. I can't believe this is so embarrassing. But yeah, it's that feeling of love, and even though you can't see it, you know it. You could just clear as day. That's love. So for us, the Zoras to see that, they can see that there's some sort of love. But I mean, not the same love as the internet with Sidon. That everybody loves Sidon on the internet, and anybody would kill for a chance to be in that position that Yona's in. But it's just a shame. I mean, it also kind of sucks because Sidon's this, bright red looking Zora, which in color theory, you would think that Sidon would be with someone who's of a somewhat similar color, just meshing together well. When I look at Yona and Sidon, it just doesn't feel like they're together. You know what I'm saying? Not to be a colorist, but I feel like Sidon should have been with someone who was probably of a similar color to like Dorfian, like his father. Of a shade of blue would have been fantastic. A light blue would have been a great match for him. But I mean, that's just me. I just feel like Sidon deserved better. I mean, Yona is a good character. She does significantly better things than the other characters in Hyrule, but it just does not take away from the fact that she took Sidon from us, and we know that Sidon probably, I mean, again, she's already fine as it is, but we, in our interpretation of relationships in Hyrule, we feel like Sidon could have done better. I'm pretty sure I've seen side quests where I've seen better Zoras and just think like, oh, I hope you find a better partner in your life to live a nice and happy life. And I mean, Sidon way up there. I mean, we've had years to get along with Sidon, and for us to go and say, oh, you're getting married to Yona, this green healer we just met. I don't know, Dorfian. I would reconsider in this marriage proposal, because if anyone in the internet would have asked you that Sidon was taken, they would have all said, no, he's single, he's a bachelor for life, and he'll just eventually fall in love with the right Zora. But we just interpreted that going a different way. Unfortunately, Yona, because of your position, you're just going to automatically be hated for being in that spot, because we all wanted to be in that spot. I mean, we didn't want to be queens of the Zoras, but we definitely wanted Sidon to be with some sort of female figure or male figure or any Zora figure that complemented Sidon really well. And I don't think you're it, but you know what? You're now the queen of the Zoras. Congratulations, Yona. You are now the most hated character in Tears of the Kingdom. By kind of default, you just can't think of anyone right now out of pure hatred, but we just hate that you can't think of anyone else that we can have that strong emotions based on just being in that position. So let me know what y'all think. Who is the most hated character in all of Tears of the Kingdom, of all of Hyrule? I mean, again, I can think of probably other characters I dislike but not hate. And knowing that Yona is the one who's the queen of the Zoras definitely makes me a little bit jealous. But what y'all think? This was a fun conversation, and I just had to say it out loud because it's just ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. Yona, her, really? Okay. Anyway, this was just Jalile, and I would love to hear how crazy I sounded in this video. Put it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. This was your favorite paisano, Just Jalile, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Later.